All right, Jill, so the other thing I did, and she's kind of just sitting on this bed, and you do want to start doing the platform work with her. If you were going to do the sit, stay, and all that, I would totally do it. You could start doing it as long as you didn't combine it with the recall and, as long as you were keeping it short. But yeah, probably the staying on the platform. I mean, I think she's ready for that. But what you want to say, this is what I want you to say to yourself, girl. That your eventual goal is, and you see how her eyes are kind of darting around. She's looking at this hand, she's looking at this hand. You want to tighten it up to the point where they're really looking at this hand. And the reason is because you're going to have this hand in this eye line. So that's why they're looking at this hand. Kelly. She already kind of knows the sit, girl, but I'm just going to tell you, I'm not going to say sit. And I'm not saying the word heel. And the reason is because I'm just doing it on the umbrella of move in my direction. But what I'm saying to myself is the same thing that we were saying yesterday. Did you just eat a rock? Yoy. She's been better about that, though. Is I'm controlling its head. If I wanted to think about how I'm controlling the dog for the healing girl, I'm thinking between its nose and eyes. That's the part of the dog that I want to control. The rest of its body's going to follow that. I can assure you, they're capable of all kinds of maneuvering and everything else from here forward. And really from their eyes back to the little brain. So that's what I'm thinking of. If I'm going to teach her to heel, it's going to be easy at this point because she's a clean slate. And it's not going to matter that much, but I do like to adjust my box here because I've already got a nice tight little turn. So what I'm thinking of myself, she's already on the platform, and this really isn't a platform, but if you were doing the platform work, you would pick her up right from there because this is where I'm controlling. Yeah. That's the end, girl. I know it's hard for you to understand that we're not putting everything together in the beginning, but if you can get that kind of healing, and look at her, she's already attracted to go back to the cot. And she's kind of just doing that on her own. I do kind of want to reinforce it, though. We do want them to understand. And this is what I want you to think of, girl. If you were to get, and I'm sure your husband can build you one, and it would be more of a square like this. If you always practiced making her sit and stay on that thing, and always made her do a nice sit, and you didn't have that day of the dog show, it would still do it. If you did it always, always, always on the box, and then the day of the dog show, or a couple days before you didn't have the box, I promise you it would do it. Alright, so that's what I'm thinking of myself. I'm controlling the head, and I'm not just randomly saying it. I've got a lot of precursors going on right here. And I've got my pager. I am pushing that pager. And I'm going to do it on the turn, too. I'm going to show you. We're going to get a real nice, tight turn. So I'm controlling her from the eyes forward. Kelly. I'm gonna get it to go the way I want it to go with that sit, girl. She didn't sit straight as much as I arranged it that way. And that's the muscle memory thing. If their muscle memory is when they come to a stop, there's a lot of shifting around. I can tell you that. We have a name for that around here. It's called dancing. Dancing, dancing. I know you can do it, girl. Of course I'm disappointed. I don't want any of this to be the situation. She's doing so well. All right, look, but that's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm not looking at her body. I'm not looking at any of that. I'm looking at her from here forward. I'm doing everything I can to pull her to me. I'm not thinking to myself, I'm going to correct her for not healing. I'm going to say I'm going to mold and shape her into what I want. I'm going to wait till she gets back up there, though. And that's how you would kind of do it You know, I think she would take to the platform real quick. If she goes back up there, I'm going to let her know she's got my attention. Because what I don't want to do from this stage, good, good, good. And I use that as a tool right there. And it is kind of robotic. Good, good. The robot is starting to function. Callie, let's look. Oh, I'm looking at her head. Good. I've got a certain cadence to this hand. I'm adding my pitch with it. I'm already looking for my opportunity. She wasn't going to sit straight, girl, so I quickly moved out of that position and look up. Good. And that's the line I draw right there, nose to touch. And I promise you, at this stage, the only staying I would probably really do with this dog would be on this platform. You see how she brought this into the training thing herself because we were using it on the other dogs. But that's how smart she is. She's sort of seeing this now as a little center. All right, so let me just do it one more time. And that's a lot of what you've got to do, girl. When they're a puppy, if she believes, I'm going to tell you, you see her that right there? She didn't like Molly getting over there. She didn't like Molly getting by the robot. You know, if she believes that's what she wants to do, that's what she's going to want to do. As much as we want to believe they're going to do what we want them to do, I haven't picked up on that. Have you, Summer?
Mm-mm.
I've picked up on more on what they want to do. I didn't tell you this. All right, maybe I did, but yesterday when I lit bumpers and Nacho's out, I didn't realize the gate was open, and, well, I wondered why they weren't coming back. And I'll give you one guess where they were. But they're actually that well trained that I could call them from there.
And I left the gate open, too.
They came back. They came back. I didn't have to go down there. I was amazed with myself. All right, look, so that's what I'm thinking. I'm controlling the dog from here. I'm augmenting with my pager and my food. Callie, I'm looking for that head. This hand is very crucial, girl. This hand is very crucial. This hand moving. I'm keeping her there by virtue of the fact that I had a whole handful. You know, so again, I can tell you right now, though I have to say Sunny's owners, these are the treats Sunny's owner brought. Most people don't bring the right treats. Wouldn't you say, Summer? Like if we tell them bring the treats and then they just bring like these dry biscuits and stuff.
Yes.
She's eating another rock. All right. Just do it one more time and then we're going to get a little slow-mo. That's all I'm thinking, though. I'm not even looking at its body, and I'm going to tell you where that comes from, and I'm going to tell you why this is going to be easy for you to understand. It is the same thing with horses, because you're controlling the whole horse from its head. All right, so what I can do, Callie, and again, I'm working her a little bit long. I do little short sessions, where there may be 3 little strips of healing, and then that's just it. We don't want it to be all this monotone healing. If you built it up, and this is what I want you to think of, girl, if you built it up 5 minutes a week of her being able to do that focused healing, you know what I mean? You've got to reach a certain plateau, though, and you're not there yet, but then you would have, you know, and those Schutzhund dogs, I mean, I think they have to do, you can look it up on video, but it's probably 5 or 6 minutes of very focused healing, which isn't as easy as it sounds. And only because she kind of did that, I'm going to start from up here. So I've got my treats, and that's what I'm thinking to myself. I want her looking at this hand. If I was really training a dog for competition, I'll be honest with you, I might put a bandage on my finger or something. You know, as a way to make sure the dog knows, you know, or I don't know, maybe like a Superman ring. You know, but that's what you've got to think of. I'm using everything in my power to, Callie. I want those turns tight. Good, good. Tell you what, she was real fast to sit, wouldn't you say, Summer?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason was, girl, she wants to do the fastest thing that's going to get her what she wants. If she thinks stiffening up and going to it, I mean, that's what she's going to do. So, again, I'm saying to myself, I'm not going to set up, there haven't been any corrections here. This has all been the pager. We don't want to correct this little dog. She's trying she came up with this on her own. It takes us months to train the other ones to get on there. We have to drag them up there. But she chooses, and that's kind of, like a utility quality that you would want. But look that up. There's a couple articles I can send you about the box. The box would be, remember how we used to make Scarlett sit on that one square thing? I don't know if you remember that, Summer, but, the only way, and pointer people do it, if they move, they're off of it. So this wouldn't be good for that, one, because it's not solid, but, if they move, they're not off of it. Anyway, girl, that was really good. And so I would end it with that. If you get her to class and she starts getting bored or something, I would just let her go off to the side and watch a little bit. She's likes to watch, and, don't let them overwork her. So, all right, girl, she's going to get a little drink, and we're going to do a slow-mo and set it to music.